All right, back for another live beer review. And if you didn't just check out my other live beer review, I did a review of the 2019 release of Hop Juju from the Fatheads Brewery. Spoilers, absolutely delicious beer. But for this live beer review, I'm actually taking a look at a beer from the Samuel Smith Old Brewery, and they're out of Tadcaster, North Yorkshire, England, over in the UK. And this is their Oatmeal Stout. And this is clearly an oatmeal stout. Comes in at 5% alcohol by volume, 32 IBUs, and at the time of review, this bottle is just over 10 months old. So let's start there for a second. Is it ideal freshness? Not really. But here's the thing. When it comes to imports, especially in my neck of the woods, it's tough to get any beer from the UK, from Germany, from Belgium, relatively fresh. I'll give you a few examples of beers that I've reviewed on my channel that I couldn't find extremely fresh. Both of them are from Iyengar. I reviewed their Oktoberfest back in the fall of 2018. Freshest bottle I could find, despite the fact that it's technically in season, was 4 months old. And then I just reviewed their Celebrator, which will be going up later this week. And the freshest I could find it is about 4 to 4.5 months old. The problem is a lot of the imports in the US, certainly in New York State and in my area, they're expensive. So a lot of people aren't going to pay a premium for a beer that they might be unfamiliar with, especially new craft beer drinkers. So the turnover rate for a lot of these beers, not as high as a lot of your domestic and local beers. So when I was looking for this one, I was hoping I could find a beer, relatively somewhat fresh. And 10 months is the freshest I could find it. It shouldn't play a huge role with this beer, I don't think. Then again, I haven't had this beer in well over 5 years. And that's because this, to me, was one of the first beers that I wanted to try out, because when I first got into craft beer, I was all about sweeter stouts, oatmeal stouts, sweet stouts, milk stouts. Didn't like bitterness when I first got into craft beer. So I had this one plenty of times before, and I used to love it, but I haven't revisited it in a long time because there's so many different beers. And I thought this would be the perfect time to do so. So before we give it a pour, let me mention the ingredients real quick. Water, malted barley, cane sugar, roasted malt, yeast, hops, and oatmeal. Clearly using oatmeal oats for the oatmeal stout, but the cane sugar kind of, interesting. As far as comments, we have Tyler. How do you say your last name, Tyler? How do you say it? I always say Mackle. And he gets upset. He said, would you look at that? What's up, Tyler? Long time no see, buddy. Eric Gilbert says, cheers, real beer. I knew he would like this one. Redbeard shows up again, says, what be going down again? And then Jesse says, long time no see. It's been all of about 15 minutes. Yeah. You know what, guys? I like the dad jokes. Keep them coming. So let's crack into this one. Has the foil top, which is always, so classy. So they say ideal drinking temperature on this one is going to be, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that on the side, is 55 degrees Fahrenheit. So this has been out of the fridge for about 45 minutes. I'm probably approaching that, if not right around there. It's not, boiling, so Paul over at PA Brew News probably not happy with me, but whatever. What are you going to do? Paul's not here, so joke's on him. This is probably bottle condition, so I'm not going to pour it all in. Also going to just, let it hang out for a bit, so to speak. So the one other thing I wanted to mention about this beer is price point. I'd be curious if anybody out there who has had this beer in the States or even in Canada, if you guys get this. I don't remember in Ontario if you guys get Sam Smith stuff. But I think this was, for the individual bottle, $3. But I think the 4-packs, again, these are 12 fluid ounce / 355 milliliter bottles. I think a 4-pack of this runs anywhere from $10 to $12, depending on where you buy it. So $2.50 to $3 for this, I think is fucking great value, honestly. Other comments, we have Eric Gilbert says, baby palate. Are you talking about Chris? Chris isn't here. Don't make fun of Chris. And Todd says, cheers. Todd's back in. Thanks again, Todd, for watching. I appreciate it, man. Rainier Parade shows up and says, cane sugar. I don't remember that. Where's the date? I got a bottle. Where the hell is the date? I don't know where it is right now, but I remember seeing it somewhere on the bottle, Rainier Parade, and it was a code. And then I looked up the code, and the code told me what the date was. Maybe at the end I'll check after the review. But yeah, I found out this was bottled on 4/20. Make all your jokes, especially you, Redbeard. Make all your jokes. But this was bottled on 4/20 of 2018. Jesse says, last time I had this was Thanksgiving. What'd you think about it, Jesse? And then Eric Gilbert says, Samuel Smith is rare in Ontario these days. Yeah, they're all over in the States. So I don't know. Anyway, pours out this really nice. This is straight on black. When it was pouring, it looked like a deep brown, but in the glass, it's definitely black. About a finger of a tannish into a brown colored head, super creamy looking. I imagine it's from that oatmeal. And yeah, it plays the role of what I expect an oatmeal stout to look like. Me, Redbeard says 420. No idea what that means. Neither do I. Should have had you in here to maybe do a quick bong rip for us, Redbeard, at the intro, like you do on the after show all the time. All right, so maybe I'm a moron. No, I am definitely a moron. I am getting the oatmeal in here. And here's the thing about oatmeal stouts. Usually they're using oats or actual oatmeal to produce a creamier, softer mouthfeel. I'm actually picking up on straight on oatmeal in the aroma of this beer, which I was not anticipating, like, at all. Julian shows up, says, hey guys, hey Joe, I made it. What's up, Julian? Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it, buddy. Jesse says, remember, its code is written in Brexit. What the fuck was the code? Now I'm upset because I know there's a code on. Oh, here it is right here. It says, Rain Air Parade, SD20R1. So I believe as far as, I think the S doesn't mean anything. And I think the D, they go from A to whatever letter in the alphabet. But I think if you go A, B, C, D, and D is the 4th month, 20th is the day. And yeah, I forgot exactly how, but if you look at just that, you'll get the actual day, the month and the date. And this is 420, and it was 2018. I forgot exactly how it went, but yeah. Anyway, Eric Gilbert says he prefers raisins with his oatmeal. Well, that's the best thing about this. I am getting raisins, a little bit of dates and figs and stuff too. This smells fucking absolutely bonkers delicious. So, bunch of oatmeal on here, like a baker's dark chocolate, not like a sweeter. I was going to say sweeter, and I was like, not really sweet, but like a baker's powdered cocoa kind of vibe. The raisins, a little bit of like toastiness from the more into the roasted, not quite roasted, like in between toasty and roasty. What's the difference? Who the fuck? I don't know what the difference is, but it has some malt character that definitely has a slightly roasty quality to it. We have Jesse says, I like the mouthfeel, creamy. Okay. Fucking Jesse. Julian says, my first time here, thumbs up. I appreciate it, Julian. I appreciate all the support. You always comment on the videos and whatnot. I don't think you're into beer all that much, but I still appreciate the support. Earth shows up, says, cheers, Joe. Long time no see, Earth. Hope you're doing well. I've watched some of the replays of Joe's D's Share a Beer show. Haven't really commented or anything, but I do watch. And then Matt Albright says, the S and the D. What did I get myself into here? Debauchery. You're on the beer patrol. I don't know what I'm talking about, and it usually devolves into nonsense. All right, Julian, take it easy, man. Have a fun time playing some video games. I wish I was playing video games. No, not really. I'm here with all my viewers and friends. Good times. Anyway, there's not much more to say about this. Chocolate, roasted malts, some dark fruits, more into the raisin thing. It definitely has a raisin oatmeal vibe to it. Even though Eric said that, I'm just going to steal his tasting notes. But raisin oatmeal vibe to it. It smells absolutely delicious at 5%. This is one of the more complex 5%, like just straight on, regular styles. And there's no, crazy adjuncts in here outside of the oatmeal and I guess the cane sugar at this point. And yeah, it just smells delicious. So I'm going to get into it. Cheers, everyone. Holy. Wow, I don't know if there's the age on here or not, but this is the most dark fruit forward, like 5%, like stout or porter I've had in a long time. Dark sweet cherry, tons of raisins. There's actually molasses in the taste. Dates, figs, big dark fruit in this one. Take it easy, Julian. Have a good one, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, again, you're going to see this on the Celebrator review from Iyengar if you watch that later in the week. I don't know why I don't buy this more often. $2.53 bucks a bottle. Drinks like this, it's 5%. So for someone for someone like me who's on a diet and has been losing weight, I can still enjoy this and not get crazy. And here's the thing. On the website, Samuel Smith says for, I believe, this bottle, it's 195 calories. I can deal with that. The body, is like medium, higher side of medium body, which at 5% is insane. This is not thin whatsoever. This is actually bigger than anticipated. The mouthfeel is creamy, soft, and smooth from those oats. There is a decent amount of carbonation there to let you know it is a carbonated beverage and bottle conditioned. This is a beer, though, honestly, and Eric Gilbert's probably going to ream me out for this one, but I feel like if you want, and this is probably why I enjoyed it when I first got into craft beer, I feel this is a beer that you could introduce to craft beer drinkers that say, maybe I don't like dark beers. You know, maybe I just associate dark beers with like whatever their preconceived notion is. This has a lot of flavor, but it's not over the top. A lot of the flavors are very reserved and restrained. And the mouthfeel, it's very creamy. It's not harsh on the palate. It's just delicious. It finishes semi-dry. There's a semi-dry finish with a soft bitterness as well. I could drink the shit out of this beer. The review I posted today of Jack's Abbey Citra Brow, very much in the same vein of this and drinkability. I could drink an entire 4-pack of this, not get shit-faced. On top of that, thoroughly enjoy myself. Bumpy Road, Jesse says their winter welcome is very dark fruit flavored as well. Yeah, that one is. That's another one I need to revisit as well. Eric Gilbert says it's the lack of adjunct. Yo, there's oatmeal in here, Eric. Still an adjunct. It's just a proper style. Is it a proper? So here's the thing, Eric. You don't consider this an adjunct beer, right? But at the same time, it has oatmeal in it, which is clearly an adjunct. Do you look at it from the perspective that oatmeal stouts have been around for a long time, so you're okay? You're okay with it being an adjunct because it's been around for a long time? Or are you okay because the oatmeal kind of just adds the mouthfeel and the body to the beer as opposed to any tasting flavors? That's the one thing I didn't mention about the Fatheads review. I didn't even say anything about the body and mouthfeel, which, whatever. I'm terrible at reviewing, so it doesn't matter. But for this one, I don't get that oatmeal like taste that I was getting in the nose. It smelled like basically like an oatmeal raisin beer, and then I taste it. I still get a lot of the dark fruit, but the oatmeal's kind of lost, and it's just working with the mouthfeel. Rainier Parade shows up and he says, had 75 to 100 bottles of this over the years. Holy balls. And he says, lots of fun drinking these out of clear glass bottles back in the day. I can imagine. It was a lot of fun. Did you ever get any kind of like skunky one? I'd imagine with the skunkiness probably doesn't play as much of a role in darker beers. But I'd be curious to know if you had any issues with those bottles or Rainier Parade. Jesse asked me, how did this last snowstorm treat you, Joe? Didn't get a ton of snow. Bumpy, that was more of like a northeastern thing. We typically are on the back end of that, so it's usually everybody in the New England area or like upstate New York, not Western New York as much. Eric Gilbert clarifies and says oatmeal is an adjunct, but a proper adjunct. What makes it a proper? What makes it any different than like cacao nibs or vanilla or whatever? There is really no difference if you think about it, Eric. There really isn't any. There's really not. You're just biased. It's okay, Eric. It's okay to be biased. Anyway, I'm killing this beer. Rating 4.5 out of 5. To style, 5 out of 5 all day. Like I would argue. All right, no, you know what? I would say I would argue anybody out there to find me a better 5% oatmeal stout that has the richness this has, the body and mouthfeel this has, and just the taste this has at a 5% ABV. Like I've never had an oatmeal stout at 5% that drinks like this. Period. Greg Bylog says, white shirt. Is that a milkman uniform hiding under there? Let me see. No, I'm not going to show you. You don't deserve it, Greg. You don't deserve it. Well, so let me ask you a question, Greg. If I do wear a milkman uniform at some point, just once, would you stop? Would you stop with the jokes? Would you stop with the jokes, please? Would you stop with the jokes? Anyway, Jeff says, damn, going to have to revisit. Jeff, I am kind of blown away. I bought this on a whim because I bought this actually 3 weeks ago, and I was just like, I want to kind of revisit a Sam Smith beer, and I was like, the oatmeal stout I remember being absolutely fucking delicious, so let me try it. Dude, you got to go into it. Like, a lot of people are not going to go into this beer with a proper mindset because you have 75 adjunct stouts nowadays and all kinds of crazy shit. But if you take this for what it is, and that's a 5% oatmeal stout, This is dynamite. This is a dynamite beer. And I would honestly argue that this is one of the best, like, sub 6% beers, period, I've had recently. Ashley says, perhaps he's trying to say that it adds to the beer unlike other adjuncts that hide the flavor of the beer. You're welcome, Eric. Well, Ashley, you know what? I appreciate the clarification. He's still wrong. And yeah. Anyway, Eric says, ale is originally made with oat sun. Yeah, that's cool. Still an adjunct. I don't care if it's proper or not, still an adjunct. Bylock says full uniform. Yeah, so if I dress up as a full uniform, Greg has said he will stop asking me and making jokes about the uniform, so we'll see. Rayer Period says it tastes pretty close to the way it did years ago. A couple issues of skunk back in the day. I always got mine from the box, which is a smart play. Anybody out there, if you buy clear beer, do not pick up 6-packs that are hanging out on the shelf. Buy them in the boxes where the light is protecting them, or if they're on shelves, the back of the shelf where the light cannot penetrate as far. Oh my God, why did I say penetrate? Fuck you, Greg. Greg also says, although then we'd move back to your police uniform. Well, what if I wore a police uniform on top of a milkman uniform? What happens then? Eric Gilbert thanks Ashley, and then Ashley says, don't let him win, Joe. Don't succumb to the bullying. I'm never going to let Greg win. I'm just theorizing here what happens if I do wear a uniform. And then Jesse says, what if Joe wore the Maytag man uniform? I don't know. Do I have to drink an Anchor beer if I do that? I don't understand. Rainier Priest says, I got the bomber bottle. Nice. Anyway, I'm finishing this up. Maybe not. I just want to sit here. This is so like raisin dark fruit forward. It's blowing my mind. So yeah, anyway, 4.5 out of 5 for personal enjoyability, so to speak. Style 5 out of 5. If you haven't picked up this fucking beer in, I don't know, long ass time, it's probably been, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it's probably been 6 to 7 years since I've had this beer. And I know at Rainier Parade, you're probably gonna be like, why? I don't know. You tell me. So if you haven't had this one in a long time, try it out. Bylog says, I would then praise you as the ultimate beer tuber and would unsubscribe, then resubscribe. I don't understand. I don't understand. Brandon, Craft Beer Pour says, cheers, Joe. What's up, Brandon? Coming to check on me. Somebody that barely live streams and clearly doesn't have the viewers you have. I always appreciate you dropping by, Brandon. I hope everything's well with you and Trish. I've catched your live stream when I can. I always want to catch the replay, but you always pull it down for obvious reasons, I would imagine, so I never get a chance to watch it back. Rod J shows up and says, missed the first viewing, but here for the second. Well, Rod, that's on you, but I appreciate you showing up for the second. The first one's just me basically gloating about getting super fresh hop juju and how delicious that beer is, but since you can get super fresh hop juju, you're not missing much. And Greg says, you get sad that you lost a subscriber, then excited that you gained another. Not if it's the same person. Greg, what are you even talking about? Are you hammered right now? I'd make you happy, and that would make me happy. And then Rod says, yeah, I can. Yeah, you can, Rod. And then the albino rhino would give you a stomach fart. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Probably going to end up shutting this one down because there's not much more to say about it. If you haven't had this beer in a while, pick it up. And if you have, and you're watching this back on the replay, post in the description box. Well, you can't post in the description box. Post in the comments. Post in the comments what you think about this beer. When's the last time you had it? Because I'd be curious to know when everyone else has had this beer, because I haven't had it in a long time, and I'm upset that I haven't. I'm going to try to pick this up a couple times a year going forward. We'll read a last couple comments here if I should. I don't know. Rajay says, when is Greg not hammered? LOL. That's a good question. Ray Airparade says, what is the beer for next week? This is not Beer Analysis 101. It's whatever. I appreciate the I've had a lot of good suggestions. Ray Parade said Leffe, Brune, and the Blonde, which I might still do at some point. What I'm going to try to do is every week review 2 live beers on Monday, at least in the near term. Try to do one like this that a lot of people can get, or almost everyone, and then maybe something else that's regional. But sometimes it'll be from the same brewery. Sometimes it'll be from different breweries. I don't know. It all depends on what I'm feeling. Sometimes I'll have maybe somebody else to do a review. Maybe not. All depends. But yeah, I'm going to try. I want to really review the Oscar Blues, what is it, Bambarina, the collab with Cigar City. Hasn't showed up yet. I'm hoping it shows up this week. So many people out there like Rainier Parade and a couple friends on Untapped have been going nuts about how good that beer is. And I'm just like, it hasn't showed up yet. It's bullshit. So hopefully that shows up at some point. And if it does, I'm probably going to live review it because I feel like that'll be a lot lot of fun. And then, yeah, probably some regional brews, maybe, you know, just whatever, Southern tier stuff like that. Stuff people can get, maybe newer releases and whatnot. But I will try to do a better job of, you know, reviewing stuff like this that everyone can get. Because if you're going to watch a live review, I'm not going to sit here and review, you know, crazy shit. That said, one caveat being in the situation, Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am doing a live dual review here on my channel before Rod J's Beer Flow show, which is 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single Thursday. Check it out. Rod's a good dude, great content. But 8:30 this week, Todd, my buddy Todd and myself were reviewing Cigar City's Droppin' Millibars, which, Eric Gilbert, if you're still watching, is a stout, is an other half Imperial Stout. Unfortunately, it has 4 adjuncts in it, so count you out. You won't watch. I understand, Eric, but it is a stout from other half, so you know how it goes. We have Greg says, gonna go watch a movie with the wife. Good night, Milkman. Well, thanks for stopping by, Greg. And I'll look into that Milkman uniform, but probably not. Matt Albright says, it's not on my list. Well, hopefully it is, Matt. And let me know what you think about it. If you end up hating it, you end up hating it. It's a great thing about palates. We all have different ones, but this, I feel like everyone should appreciate this for what it is. Rajay says that's a solid brew. It is. I agree. Bumpy Road, Jesse says East Coast IPA versus West Coast versus Mid Coast. That might be a fun little video, but it probably wouldn't be a review. I'd have to call it like, you know, head to head or something like that. Eric Lyons fan. Eric shows up, says, what up, brother? What's up, Eric? What are you doing? Watching shitty live beer reviews? Yeah, me too. Actually, I'm the one in the shitty live beer review. Eric Gilbert says, Canadian beer news, question mark. No. And then Rajay says, beer flow pre-show viewing. I like it. Jumping across channels. And Eric Gilbert says, stepping on Rod's toes. Not stepping on Rod's toes. We're doing it at 8:30, and it'll be over probably by 9. And then we're going to jump over to Rod's channel after reviewing a 13.2% Imperial Stout and be totally fucked up to the point where I'm not reading comments. Redbeard says, great live stream, Joe. Come hang out after if you want to, man. I might stop by, Redbeard, but if you guys play Cards Against Humanity, I'm just going to watch. And then Rajay says, it's all good, e.g., Eric Gilbert. It's like the opening band. Are you calling me an opening act, Rod? I'm going to need you to settle down. Because even though you're 100% accurate, that's not cool. And then Eric says, I'm going to do Juicy Nuggets ×2. Eric Gilbert laughs at Rod's comment, and I think that's where we're going to end it. So, Eric says Juicy Nuggets ×2 Wednesday. Okay, so check out Eric's channel. He's going to be reviewing a lot of 450 North beers. That's how he rolls. Anyway, fucking guys. I'm an opening act. You suck, Rod. I love you, buddy. Anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by. Again, Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Todd and I are going to review another half stout. It's going to be glorious. It's going to be just as shitty as tonight, and everyone is going to have a great time, but maybe not. I don't know. Talk to you guys later. Cheers.